This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and special thanks to our sponsors over at Sphere Rocket VA. We get to talk to Brian today. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Of course. Excited to get to know you. And the best place to start is the beginning. So, Brian, who are you? Where are you from? How'd you find yourself in real estate?
Yeah, good question. So I am Brian Simmons. I'm Icon agent here at EXP. I've been here for about 4 years. Icon agent every year I've been here. And I'm working on, working on the fourth one. But I got into real estate, in March of 18.
Okay.
And so the way that kind of worked, prior to real estate, I was in the IT industry and had grown an IT company with a partner, and everything was really, really good. I had no complaints there, except I just kind of got this idea in my head of like, I really need to know whether or not like I can do this myself, or if our success was because I was, riding his coattails or
yeah, of course,
whatever it was. Like I just had that like in my mind that I needed to know. And so I just said, hey, let's go separate ways and buy me out. So he bought me out, and I'd always been interested in real estate. Thought I'd get into flipping, and quickly realized I didn't know anything about it. So started to build some homes with another buddy, and then started closing some deals, and realized I just really, really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed being out of the office, showing property, all that kind of stuff. It was just really enjoyable to me, and turned out to be all right at it, I guess.
Yeah, heck yeah. So how did you stumble across EXP? Was it your first brokerage? Were you introduced? What happened?
Yeah. So actually, kind of a different story there too. Like I was with a local independent brokerage here in Southern Oregon, who was, the agent who I had used for all my own transactions, was the owner of it. And as I started to do deals, close transactions in my first year, I was approached by somebody at Remax. And they said, hey, you should come look at Remax. So I took a look at Remax and was like, well, that's cool. It'll save me, a couple grand a year. I don't know if that's quite worth it. And then I said, well, if I'm at least going to consider that, like I should at least look at what else is out there. So I started doing a lot of research myself on what is, the best commission structure in the industry. And that brought me to EXP. And then I found coincidentally like saw somebody had made a post on Facebook and that they were an EXP agent, and I reached out to them.
Okay.
And so it was an easy one for them, and then they just told me kind of the long and the short of it, and I was like, okay, like I'm sold. I was sold at the 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. Like that was it. I was like, I don't even care about stock, I don't care about rev share. Had I known then what I know now, I would have cared about those things because they proved to be massive. But I mean, back then I was like, oh, it'll save me, a few $1,000s a year.
Right.
No, I was like, might as well go in my pocket instead of my broker's.
Oh, absolutely. And, with like you said, those multiple streams of income and everything else growing in your pocket with EXP, it makes a lot more sense model-wise for sure.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Brian, after over here, what do you like about EXP? Maybe something you didn't expect or didn't know about when you first came over?
Yeah, I think really, the biggest thing is like what it did to my business. I mean, right out of the gate, I tripled the number of transactions I did. Just year one at EXP was triple. And so that was, wild, more than I ever thought. I remember hearing about Icon Agent and being like, that'll be cool. And maybe like year 4, 3 or 4. Nope, that year 1. It's like I was blown away.
I see them all lined up back there, Brian. You're not fooling me.
Right? Oh, I guess it's the shoulder, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I was like, it blew me away. And it wasn't just because my logo changed on my business card. It was because I had way more support, way more, opportunity to learn. And so, especially being at like an independent local, like there was nothing, wrong there per se. Like we had opportunities to learn things and everything. That was cool. But here, like I plugged into the EXP world, into the university. I attended a ton of trainings, like just learned a lot of different things that I didn't have, access to at the other place, and it just really like made it a big difference. And then in addition to that, having the access to the people that are here locally to me, who served as basically like a mentor or mentors to help me grow my business. I mean, those have been just invaluable. So
Oh,
huge,
I love
huge.
that. Yeah, that collaboration is really what sets EXP apart from everyone else. And Brian, before we dig into production things and all things iconing, let's talk about
Mhm.
you. How do you recharge and make sure that you're refreshed and working towards a work-life balance?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's about me, I guess. I have so I'm married, have an amazing wife and two little kids, a 2-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. And so, being able to spend time with them is obviously super, super critical to me. So, the work-life balance thing it's tough, at times. Like you're getting calls and texts late, in the evening and stuff. And what we've started to do, and something that my wife and I both committed to doing, is basically like when we start cooking dinner, our phones go down,
Yeah.
and we just like put them in another room. And from cooking dinner to when we put the kids to bed, the phones are inaccessible in another room. And so it really gives us that quality time together every single day, which is fun. I mean, it's been really, really nice. I'm really excited that we've done that. Um, so that's just kind of one like simple way that we try to keep the balance. But it's also, being able to work from home and have, that flexibility. Um, it- that in itself, I think, creates those moments to where the kids like run into my office and I can, instead of like, hey, get out of here, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like let's hang
Come
out for a couple
on in.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so that I think that's all kind of leads to a better balance. But yeah,
I love that, Brian. That's super cool. Well, good to be a family man and be able to kind of build your own schedule and time block accordingly so that you can incorporate that as much as you'd like to. And
yeah,
Brian, let's talk a little more about the Icon podcast. That's why you're here. Well, I guess the Icon, not the podcast, but you. So production wise, out in your market, you are in Oregon, right?
yes.
Right. So in your market in Oregon, how many houses does it take to cap? Because it's 28 transactions after capping. But what's your market price point, or what sector do you work in? And like how many
Yeah.
homes you have to sell to get there?
So I capped this year. It took me 1 month and 8 deals, 8 transactions to cap. So that was kind of. It seems like that's about normal. I
Yeah.
guess in my market, it's like about 8 or so
Awesome.
to cap. So it just happened to all be in 1 month for me, which made it nice because now I have 11 months of 100%. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
No,
nice.
that's great, Brian. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And iconing isn't all about the production and selling homes. You
Right.
gotta have that cultural commitment to EXP. So
Yes.
that being said, are you a mentor? Do you teach in EXP world,
Yeah.
coaching? Do you vet other icons?
Yeah. So all of my my prior 3 icons, I think I had done the teaching in the world. That was I really enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun. This year I just changed it to mentors, being a mentor. I've always been a mentor anyways. And I've just kind of enjoyed doing that too. But I felt like there were times when I was doing the teaching where it just like was tough to continue to keep that commitment.
Yeah.
And so the mentorship, I think, just gives me a little bit more flexibility, and it's also an additional income stream. So I
Yeah.
figured, like, because of those two things, I was like, I'm just going to do that this year,
That as
see how it
well.
goes. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
smart. And Brian, out of all the benefits that come with iconing, right? You get your cap back in stock, the opportunity to go to
right,
EXPCon, shareholders. You get those nice shiny glass trophies back there.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part? What makes you say, I have got to Icon again next year?
I mean, it's the stock to me. Like that's just plain as day. Like that's simple. It's the stock. Like getting the stock award, and even though the price is down right now, as of today, June 15th, like the price is down, lower than it's been in a while, but like it still doesn't matter. Like I would be doing the same number of deals if I was somewhere else. I would have zero stock. So
I mean, it's kind of good that it's down right now, right?
Right. Yeah. No, that's why.
$1,000 back in stock.
Yeah.
So a lot further.
Exactly. So we're gonna go to shareholder summit and get $2,000 in stock at $10 or $12 a share versus $50 a share. Like, okay, I'll take that. Yeah. So it is, and that's really the thing is like after my first award. I mean, seeing what that first stock award in 2019 turned out to, I mean, that was pretty spectacular because that was at like $6 a share, and then it split, and then it went to whatever 100 and something. It was like, God, it was just unbelievable that there was that much there in a year.
Right.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And let's take it back to the mentorship aspect a little bit, mindset. Let's put you in a scenario where I am a brand new realtor, right? Just out of real estate school, just finished onboarding with EXP. And I'm like, Brian, let's talk about some goals here. I think I want to Icon this year. I know I haven't even written an offer letter yet, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So how do I accomplish that? Is it possible? Have this talk with me.
Yeah, no, of course it's possible. Anything's possible. What it really comes down to, and the very first step that I tell anybody that I'm mentoring or when I was teaching the class in the world, because the class I taught was the 3 keys to achieving Icon, like how to get there. So it's like, this is what I would talk about. Yeah. So what I would say is like, number one, first and foremost, is you have to know your target. Okay. What are you even shooting for? Like you said, you want to be Icon, but why? Like there's something more that's behind that's driving you to want to be Icon. You don't just, grow up and be like, I want to be an Icon agent someday. It's like, no, there's something more that's driving it. The Icon's more of like a way, to get there. It's more something that just coincidentally aligns with it. And, whatever that is, like that target, and I refer to it as the BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. And I have mine up on my wall right here behind my monitors where I'm staring at it all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to know that, like, what is that? And then you get just super clear about how do we get to that point, and we create a plan. And so it's, it's all based on what your strengths are and what you're not good at, and being honest about those things. Because if you're not good at, picking up the phone and calling people, then we shouldn't build your whole strategy for lead generation around cold calling, because you're going to be terrible at it. Like if you don't know how to get onto, if you don't know how to log onto your Facebook, or you think, TikTok's the sound the clock makes, like you shouldn't be social media. Like that should not be your strategy. So it's all like got to have alignment. And that's really the key, is like we kind of break that all down. We figure out, okay, like what's your strength? How are we going to do this? What's our strategy? And then it's just a matter of plugging numbers in and figuring out how much activity you need to be doing to get to that goal. And it's going to be a lot, so that's really what it comes down to.
Awesome, Ryan. No, you're right. You got to find your niche and settle on those goals and hit it hard, and find your why at the same time, right? And lean into those people around you that are there to support you and help you execute this plan, because it's a tough one to tackle, but it is possible.
It is.
That's incredible. And Brian, we're coming up on 15 minutes here. It's been an awesome podcast. So for my last question, it would be, I guess last 2 questions. Were you ever skeptical of EXP?
No.
No,
I literally, it was like 5 minutes into the first conversation, I was like, oh, 80-20 with the $16,000 cap. That's cool. Let's go.
Like, makes sense to me. Well, you're one of the lucky ones, because everybody's like, oh, I wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I wasn't so skeptical. So to somebody who may be watching right now, right, and they're like, man, like EXP looks good and the grass is greener over there and it makes sense. Everybody's going over to EXP, but I'm in this partnership with my broker. We're friends. I'm loyal to them. they say EXP is a cult, a pyramid scheme. What would you have to say to somebody watching right now looking to make the jump, but they're scared?
If they're, at the end of the day, like loyalty is a great characteristic. Like that's really important to know. Like one of the most admirable characteristics that I could even think of.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is like your loyalty may be misplaced, because to me, I think the loyalty should be to yourself, to your family, to your future. And if you're foregoing an opportunity like this because you are loyal to your broker, that just seems backwards to me. And I would just, I don't know, I would just question whether or not they share that same loyalty. If you tell them you're going to leave for a better opportunity, are they going to tell you, congratulations, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of being been part of your journey? Or are they going to tell you how stupid of an idea it is? And how they handle that conversation is going to tell you everything you need to know about their loyalty. Right. And so that's the way I handle it.
That's really good advice, Brian. Obviously loyalty is a great characteristic to have. It's sometimes a rare characteristic depending on the industry, but to have that here is okay. But you got to put yourself, your family first. Think about retirement, multiple streams of income. That's hard to find in a real estate world. So if you've got the option, jump at it.
There's no better opportunity out there. I mean, I'm a huge believer in that. There just isn't.
Right. Absolutely, Ryan. And it's just, the model makes sense. If you guys have questions, get in touch with Brian. We live in a social media world. Give him a call, find him on Facebook, shoot him an email, whatever that is. Ask him your questions about EXP. You should do your due diligence. You should be asking questions and figuring it out. And you can be skeptical. But, at the end of the day, it's not a matter of if you're coming over to EXP, it's when.
I agree. I agree.
Brian, is there anything you want to leave the listeners with today?
No, just, reach out. If you have somebody, you have questions, you have interest, reach out. Like my website's theeducationalagent.com. You can check it out. If there's somebody else that's telling you about EXP, go back to them. Like we're all here for the same reason. It's to grow this amazing company. And anything I can do to help with that, I'm happy to do it. So just don't hesitate to reach out.
Brian, thank you so much for your time today. Looking forward to seeing you in real life at EXPCon. So make sure you come hunt me down, because if not, I'll hunt you down.
Deal.
Brian, thanks for your time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.